After facing immense heat over P.J. Antony appointment as Principal Secretary to the Nagaland Assembly Secretariat, Dr. P.J. Antony tenders his resignation. Following the move, Nagaland Assembly Secretariat Staff Association and Joint Action Committee also called off their agitation. Incessant rainfall causes major landslide between Woka to Mukokchung Strait on National Highway 2. Situation becomes more grim as vehicular movement being hindered and repairing work halted due to bad weather. Flood situation continues to batter Assam, affecting more than 45 lakh people across 30 districts of the state, claiming 107 lives since April. Silchar remains worst affected, with almost 3 lakh people affected as overflowing Barak River in undated major town in southern Assam. NDS presidential nominee Draupadi Murmu on Friday files her nomination papers for presidential election at the parliamentary building, library building. What can be said as a power show? Murmu files her paper flanked by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his top cabinet colleagues and top NDA leaders. Amid the political turbulence in Maharashtra, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray says rebel Shiv Sena MLAs camping in Guwahati want to break the party. Targeting Shinde, Thackeray says he did everything for the rebel leader and yet a lot of allegations are levelled against him. Welcome viewers, you are watching English Primetime News. I'm Assam. Let's have a look at the detail. Nagaland Assembly Secretariat Staff Association and Joint Action Committee on Thursday called off their agitation following the resignation of Dr. P.J. Antony from the post of Principal Secretary of the Assam Assembly Secretariat. Notably, the NASA JAC, which began its agitation from June 3 on Thursday, extended its gratitude to the NSF, ENSF, KENSE, NLSF, ex-parliamentarians, NASA and all right-thinking citizens of Nagaland for supporting them throughout the process. It further thanked the parliamentary committee for bringing an amicable solution to the issue, while also lauded Nagaland Chief Minister Nipurio for prioritizing and ensuring a fast-track solution to the issue. The Bharatiya Janata Party's 59th Seyotchung Sitimi Mandal Executive Meeting has been held on Thursday at Geology and Mining Conference Hall in Kifre. At the BJP 59th Mandal, Toshiho K. Yeptomi urged Mandal leaders and party to rededicate and re-strengthen themselves and to start their work from grassroots level. Meanwhile, the adoption of resolution has been passed by BJP 59th Mandal General Secretary Tesolen. At the meeting, the 59th Seyotchung Sitimi Mandal unanimously resolved to support Minister for Soil and Water Conservation, Geology and Mining, V. Kashio Sangtem. The party decided to follow principles of BJP to bring all-round development. During the meeting, it discussed on local area units to promote monthly reports to 59th Mandal office. Incessant rain has once again caused a major landslide in National Highway 2, which is away from Woka to Mukokchung Road. Due to the landslide, road construction and traffic movement at National Highway 2 has been again hindered. The General Manager of Anusha Road Construction Private Limited, MS Reddy, stated that works have been jeopardized as all machineries had been placed at the landslide area and many road construction materials that had been stocked for the works are being buried due to the landslide. He also maintained that unstable soil condition is one of the major problems and that mud slides are constant. Reddy was also worried about the losing of the mother road due to dragging of land below the road area. The Deputy Chief Minister of Nagaland, Yangtungpeton, along with Rajya Sabha MP Phangnon Konyak, signed the nomination papers for the presidential elections in Delhi on the 23rd of June 2022. Paton, in his tweet, stated that with great pride the people of India are watching this historic event unfold, which also adds colors to the aspirations of all tribal communities. MP Konyak also tweeted stating that her victory will bring collective tribal aspirations across the country and even louder recognition. Home Commissioner Abhijit Sinha has convened a review meeting of the state-level coordination committee on disaster statistics on July 15. Notably, the review meeting will be held in the Home Commissioner's office. It is to be mentioned that the review meeting will be held to see the progress of disaster data at both state and district level and for bringing out disaster statistics of the state. Furthermore, the Home Commissioner, through a notification, informed all the committee members along with the Nodal Officer for Disaster Management to attend the review meeting without fail. The Naga Council Dimapur is scheduled to conduct its annual general body meeting of its councillors on June 28. Notably, the meeting is scheduled to be held at the NCD office in Dimapur. The council, through a notification, requested all the councillors to attend the meeting positively. LaPS Center for Mental Wellbeing was inaugurated on Friday at 5th Mile in Dimapur. Notably, counseling psychologist Lovitoli Awomi is the head of the center, while she is also an academic counselor in some of the institutions in Dimapur. Furthermore, during the inauguration, Awomi, while addressing the media, mentioned that mental health is a serious issue and that one should address it before it gets too late. She stated that she is not only focusing on youths but on parents, churches, organizations to educate and spread awareness on mental health. It is to be mentioned that Awomi aims to reach out to grassroots level and help people battling mental issue.
Imde reference be shai jeshe call be shai jeshe aro maybe home counseling should be privacy all privacy thakibo lage itu nimde I should have started opening the center koi kena moi itu plan koi kena center kholina ahe ase through this center I want to give awareness to the society that mental health issues, mental health illness to sob man be like every family is already affected with mental health, almost every family, but if I educate the parents and the churches or in the societies sob man be to help like kuna ekjun ke support hona manukun bimar ase client kun dukpa ase anxiety stress thake dam tebi takhan bi ingi help to ahi ja itinte mola focus aro.
The Department of Agriculture of Nagaland government on Friday launched agriculture farm machineries under submission on agricultural mechanization at Deputy Director Central Store in Dimapur. Notably, the keynote address was delivered by JT Director of Agriculture SAM Medovali Laudu, whereby he mentioned that the state has seen an increase in the farm power since the inception of SAM during 2021 to 2022. He further went to say that the state has a lot of potential scope in promoting farm mechanization in the areas where farm power availability is still low. Meanwhile, the department also informed that through SAM, they will introduce an agricultural drone system for real-time monitoring of agricultural situations. It is to be mentioned that during the launching program, different machineries were provided to the rightful beneficiaries for agricultural development in the state.
Department of Agriculture para agriculture machineries launching date haise. Yete launching date hagia hisab te power machineries alop numbers alop distribute korise. Power tiller 15 dishe, rotary tiller etu mini tiller kobo 10 ta dishe, brush cutter etu 12 dishe, rice mill bi 5 ta dishe aru tractor 2 ta dishe launching la nam. Aru this monsoon season te moi khan prepare kura to farmers khan ke dibole thakia tu power tiller 100 numbers dibole ready kurina ase aru itu mini power tiller itu 15 power tiller nohine itu tractors dangor wala itu 15 arrange kurina ase aru brush cutter ko tu itu 400 itu ready kurina ase rice mill itu bi 100 ready kurina ase aru itu mini power tiller noile itu rotary tiller koi thake.
A massive fire broke out and gutted 2 houses down in Chakpang village under Mon district on Wednesday. As per sources, no injuries were reported during the incident. Meanwhile, the villagers of Chakpang gathered on Thursday and built 2 emergency and temporary houses with bamboo and thatch roof for the affected families of the fire incident. To address the public grievances on postal matters, a Dak Adalat is scheduled to be held on June 29. Notably, the Adalat organized by the Superintendent of Post Office, Kohima, will be held from 11 a.m. onwards in the chamber of the Superintendent of Post Office. Furthermore, the Superintendent of Post Office, through a notification, informed that complaints, grievances, suggestions, if any, related to postal services for discussion in the Dak Adalat can be sent to the office of the Superintendent of Post Offices, Nagaland Division, Kohima, or can be mailed at the given email on or before June 29. Freshers' Day for the batch 2022 of Class 11 Newman Higher Secondary School was held on Friday at its school auditorium. The program was arranged by Class 12 students under the guidance of their teacher, Celestine Dangdang, with Additional Deputy Commissioner of Tobu, Nile Zotep, as the special guest. Furthermore, Principal Reverend Father Anthony Semi welcomed the freshers and congratulated them for achievement in HSLC 2022 exams and further extended best wishes for the future. Meanwhile, the special guest, while addressing the students, advised them to work hard and also advised them to have strong determination and self-discipline to become a successful person.
How we were when we were young, like all of you here. Actually, when we look back, as of now, most of you are like very outgoing, I should say, quite talented also, very showy also. But those were the times when, for us, this Freshers' Day reminds me of our own young days. How we were when we were young.
Based on biodiversity conservation and combating wildlife crimes, the Department of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Nagaland State Biodiversity Board and Aranyak Guwahati held a one-day sensitization program on Thursday at Conference Hall, Forest Office Complex in Kohima. The program has been organized for forest and police personnel. Meanwhile, speaking on the occasion, IFS CCF M&E M. Senthil Kumar extended pleasure over Aranyak Forest Department and Biodiversity for coming together and working towards wildlife crime issues and conservation of biodiversity. NSBB Chairman S.P. Tripathi, while addressing keynote, presented the background and spoke on the status of wildlife crimes in Nagaland. During the technical session, NSBB FRO Savinio Kiki presented on Biodiversity Act 2002 and the Nagaland State Biodiversity Rules 2012 and highlighted important provisions in the Act. Meanwhile, overview of wildlife crimes focusing on rhino and tigers at global and regional level and identification and understanding commonly used wildlife products in the region has been presented by Aranyak Senior Manager Dr. Jimmy Bora. Aranyak Project Officer Iviv Farhin Hussein also presented on wildlife crimes on rhino and tigers at local level. The program spread awareness for forest, wildlife and conservation of biodiversity to start from grassroots level. It concluded with a resolution to hold such programs in future. Well, viewers, today we are going to talk about a video that has gone viral in social media. It is catching attention of many netizens and has become an instant hit among not only the people of Nagaland but even others are also appreciating the video for a special reason. In the video, it can be seen that the traffic police in Jaluki of Peran district celebrated the World Music Day in a unique way. In the video, the police personnel are seen singing and dancing to the tune of a classic Kishore Kumar song, Lakho Hai Yaha Dilwale. In the same video, the street vegetable vendors and wage earners can also be seen dancing along with the cops in their own way to celebrate music in an effort to spread the message of love, peace and harmony. Notably, the traffic policeman name is Matu Mubung, and according to Mubung, police personnel are always viewed as stern and strict. Hence, this act was carried out to make people aware that police personnel can also be jolly and fun-loving. The video has become an overnight hit and garnering accolades from the viewers as well. Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama on Thursday donated rupees 10 lakh to support flood relief works in Assam. In a letter to the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Dalai Lama expressed concern about the unprecedented rainfall and flooding in the state and also offered condolences to the family who lost their loved ones and to everyone affected by the floods. The leader further appreciated the efforts of the agencies involved to rescue those affected and to provide them with relief. Meanwhile, thanking him, Sarma tweeted saying that Assam is humbly feeling blessed at His Holiness and that the state government is grateful to the Gaden Phudrang Trust for the donation. The flood situation continues to batter Assam, affecting more than 45 lakh people across 30 districts of the state, claiming 107 lives since April. The worst affected is Silchar town in Barak Valley, where the situation remains extremely grim for 4 days now. Nearly 3 lakh people are affected as the overflowing Barak River inundated the major town in southern Assam, while more than 71,000 people have been shifted to relief camps. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma conducted an aerial survey of the flood-affected areas in Silchar on Thursday. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the centre is monitoring the flood situation in Assam and that the government is working closely with the state to provide all possible assistance to overcome the situation. NDS presidential nominee Draupadi Murmu on Friday filed her nomination papers for presidential election at the Parliament building, Library building. The 64-year-old was accompanied by Prime Minister Narendra Modi while handing over the set of papers to returning officer PC Modi. It is to be mentioned that Draupadi Murmu is the first woman tribal leader to file her nomination for the top constitution post of the country. It may also be mentioned that Draupadi Murmu, who was declared BJP-led NDA's presidential candidate, is a former governor of Jharkhand and a former Odisha minister. Notably, she will face opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha in the presidential contest on July 18. If elected, she will be the first tribal president of India and the country's second female president. It may also be mentioned that Union Ministers Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Niti Gadkari and Piyush Goyal, BJP President JP Nadda and several chief ministers including Yogi Adityanath, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Manohar Lal Khattar, PS Bomai, Bhupendra Patel, Himanta Biswa Sarma, Pushkar Singh Dhami, Pramod Sawant and N. Biren Singh were also present on the occasion.
राष्ट्रपति पद के लिए अपना नामांकन
Amid the political turbulences in Maharashtra, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray on Friday said that rebel Shiv Sena MLAs who are camping in Guwahati want to break the party. As Eknath Shinde appears to be tightening his grip on Shiv Sena with the number of rebels rising to 38, Thackeray called a meeting of the party's district chiefs today where he said that he left the Varsha bungalow but not the will to fight. Targeting Shinde, Thackeray said that he did everything for the rebel leader and yet a lot of allegations are leveled against him. Thackeray said that he did everything for Shinde with handing over a portfolio that he himself once held. Further, he said that his son Aditya's name is unnecessarily dragged by rebel Shinde as Shinde's own son became an MP representing the party. Addressing the party meeting virtually, the Shiv Sena chief said that he has nothing to do with power and the people who used to say that they would rather die than leave Shiv Sena have fled today. Notably, the Chief Minister had vacated the official residence of the Chief Minister on Wednesday night and moved to his family residence, Matoshri, along with his family. Earlier today, Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut expressed confidence that Mahavikas Aghati government would win the floor test in the state assembly. He also said that the rebel MLAs have taken a very wrong step and said that the MVA government will complete the rest of the remaining years of the 5-year tenure in office. Assam Congress Chief Bhupen Kumar Bohra on Friday wrote a letter to rebel Shiv Sena leader Eknath Shinde and his camp asking them to leave Assam at the earliest. As rebel Shiv Sena MLAs from Maharashtra continue to camp in Guwahati in BJP-ruled Assam. He further said that Assam is facing a devastating flood situation and in such a critical and deplorable situation of the state, the presence of Shiv Sena MLAs in Guwahati and the busy activities of the Assam government in providing royal hospitality are quite unfair and unacceptable. According to sources, the Congress leaders were not allowed to enter the hotel and a police official deployed there was requested to hand over the letter to the Sena leader. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday appointed Tapan Dekha as the new Director of Intelligence Bureau and rewarded Samant Goel by extending his tenure as Secretary, Research and Analysis Wing for 1 more year. It is to be noted that Tapan Dekha currently heads the operations desk of the Intelligence Bureau and has been tracking terrorist and religious radicalization for the past 2 decades. Dekha is a 1988 batch Himachal Pradesh cadre officer. The government has picked up Tapan Deka as DIP over some 4 seniors in the Intelligence Bureau. Meanwhile, Deka was the man who broke the back of Indian Mujahideen group and also the man who investigated the 26/11 attacks. On the other hand, Saman Goel is an Afghanistan-Pakistan expert and a Punjab cadre officer. He works closely with both Home Minister Amit Shah and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. The Modi government has set stage for the two agencies to come on the same page and operate with synergy. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia on Thursday directed the states to ramp up testing and accelerate COVID-19 vaccination during a high-level review meeting. Amid the surge in COVID cases, Mandavia held talks with team of experts and further stressed on the need to focus on districts reporting high case positivity. Mandavia remarked that there is adequate vaccine doses available and therefore no vaccine should be wasted. Notably, India has seen an increase in COVID-19 cases over the past few weeks. The Appointments Committee of Cabinet on Thursday appointed former Punjab Director General of Police Dinkar Gupta as Chief of National Investigating Agency. Gupta will serve as Director General of the Federal Anti-Terror Probe Agency till March 31, 2024. Notably, Gupta is set to join NIA at a time when several cases of terror funding and activities in Jammu and Kashmir are under probe. It may be noted that NIA was formed in the aftermath of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Made in India infantry combat vehicles have been deployed in the forward areas in Ladakh after they were inducted into the Indian Army some time ago. Notably, the combat vehicles can easily be driven in harsh terrain of the region. It may be mentioned that the combat vehicles named Infantry Protected Mobility Vehicles were delivered to the Indian Army in April this year. It may also be mentioned that IPMVs have been jointly developed by the Defence Research and Developmental Organization and the Data Group. In a major development, Jammu and Kashmir is set to host the G20 Summit 2023. The Union Territory government on Thursday has set up a 5-member high-level committee meeting for overall coordination. Notably, this will be the first major international summit to be held in Jammu and Kashmir after it was divided into 2 union territories in August 2019. Meanwhile, G20 is an influential grouping that brings the world's major economies together. India's recurve archers, who had a night marriage qualification round in the women's event, bounced back strongly to storm into the final, confirming their first medal at the ongoing World Cup Stage 3 on Thursday. Meanwhile, a day after all of them slipped out of top 30 in the qualifying round to get a lowly 13th seed, the trio of Deepika Kumari, Ankita Bhakat and Simranjit Kaur beat Ukraine, Britain and Turkey in road the summit clash. The Indian women's recurve trio started off by eliminating 4th seed Ukraine 5-1. Furthermore, India will play against Chinese Taipei in the final on Sunday. So viewers, that's all we have in the bulletin. Keep watching Nagaland TV. Sob Manula Gavas.
Nltv Dynamite Instant Noodles.